Welcome to Southwest Desert, where adventure meets the arid beauty of the American Southwest. Join us as we explore the rugged landscapes, uncover hidden historical gems, and dive deep into the rich legends and culture of this iconic region. Subscribe now and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on our latest desert adventures. Please leave a like or comment. This is very helpful. Let's journey together into the heart of the Southwest Desert. In 1866, high in the mountains of New Mexico Territory, 3 exhausted miners were contracted to assess a copper claim on Baldy Mountain. While waiting for their evening meal to cook over a campfire, one of them, bored and restless, grabbed a pan and scooped up some gravel from nearby Willow Creek, just to pass the time. As he swirled the water around, something caught his eye, tiny flecks of gold shimmering in the fading light. That single casual moment would transform a mountain, launch a boomtown, and lead to one of the most ambitious and ultimately heartbreaking mining ventures in the American West. This is the story of Baldy Gold Mining Town, a place perched 10,000 feet above sea level where human ambition literally moved mountains, where fortunes were made and lost, and where one man's obsession with finding the mother lode led to a 36-year engineering marvel that ultimately found nothing. Baldy was nestled high on Baldy Mountain in Colfax County, New Mexico Territory, approximately 12 miles northeast of what would later become Eagle Nest. At this impressive elevation of 10,000 feet, the settlement often stood above the clouds. Baldy was one of 3 mining settlements in the area, alongside the short-lived Virginia City and the more established Elizabethtown. The town officially existed from 1888, when its post office was established, until 1926, when the post office closed. However, the story of this remarkable place begins much earlier. The seeds of Baldy's existence were planted in the 1860s, when a member of the Ute tribe arrived at Fort Union carrying a piece of copper float. This specimen caught the attention of 2 savvy prospectors, W.H. Kronig and William Moore, who immediately recognized its potential value. They struck a deal with the Ute guide to show them exactly where he had found the copper. The guide led them to the upper elevations of Baldy Mountain, a largely barren landscape that nonetheless held promise to the experienced eyes of the prospectors. Seeing enough potential in the area, Kronig and Moore formally registered their claim in 1866, the Mystic Lode, as they called it. Mining claims required development work to maintain legal ownership, so Kronig and Moore hired 3 laborers to handle that requirement while they focused on other business interests. The workers established camp along Willow Creek and began their assigned copper assessment work. It was here that fate intervened. While waiting for dinner one evening, one of the unnamed workers decided to try his hand at panning for gold in Willow Creek, simply to pass the time. On his very first attempt, he found color, the prospector's term for visible gold. Whatever copper assessment they were supposed to be doing was instantly forgotten. The workers focused on extracting what gold they could from the stream bed, but the approaching winter forced them to return to Fort Union. At 10,000 feet elevation, winter arrives early and hits hard. Before departing, they agreed to keep their discovery secret, but such secrets never hold in the world of mining. By the following spring, word had leaked, and prospectors flooded the area. Initially, they concentrated around Willow Creek, where the first discovery had been made, but exploration soon expanded to all drainage systems around Baldy Mountain. The most significant discovery came in 1868 with the Aztec Lode, reputed to be one of the richest mineral finds in the western region. By 1899, it had yielded approximately $3 million in gold, in 1800s dollars. Adjusting for inflation, this represents well over $90 million in today's currency. With such wealth being extracted, security became a major concern. There were documented cases of high grading, the practice of workers stealing high-grade ore. One particularly ambitious thief managed to make off with gold worth $15,000, equivalent to about $500,000 today. He was tracked all the way to Chicago, where he had already started liquidating his stolen gold. As mining operations expanded, so did the settlement itself. 2 substantial boarding houses were built, with enough space to accommodate 100 miners between them. Hotel Baldy opened its doors, featuring distinctive interior decor that included an altitude marker to remind visitors of the town's lofty perch. The town proudly described itself as high, windy, and lusty, a description that perfectly captured the frontier spirit of these mining communities. Baldy reached its peak development in the early 1880s, with population and mining production at their height. By 1897, Baldy had evolved into a proper community with about 200 permanent residents, a functioning public school, and regular Methodist church services every Sunday. 12 actively producing mines were in operation, supported by 4 stamp mills for processing ore. The town had established telephone connection to Springer, giving them a vital link to the outside world. Baldy had all the businesses typical of a frontier town: multiple saloons, general stores, a livery stable, plus some specialized services: a blacksmith, a tailor, a barber, and laundry operations. There was even a resident justice of the peace maintaining some semblance of law and order. It was a real community, not just a collection of fortune seekers. Families lived there. Children were educated there. It had infrastructure, communication, commerce, all the elements of a viable town, albeit one with a single economic purpose. In 1899, an entrepreneur named W.P. McIntyre arrived in Baldy with a revolutionary idea that would shape the final chapter of the town's story. McIntyre had developed a theory that all the gold being found in various veins and lodes around Baldy Mountain was actually coming from a single source, a mother lode hidden deep within the mountain itself. The concept that scattered ore deposits might be fingers extending from some massive central deposit was not unusual in mining theory. What was extraordinary was the scale of McIntyre's vision for accessing this theoretical mother lode. In October 1900, McIntyre and his brother Alex incorporated the Gold and Copper Deep Tunnel Mining and Milling Company. Their plan was audacious: to bore a tunnel straight through Baldy Mountain, 2,000 feet below its summit. To expedite the project, they decided to tunnel from both sides simultaneously. This would halve the completion time, but it created an enormous engineering challenge, ensuring that the 2 tunnels would actually meet in the middle. This was 1900. There were no GPS or laser guidance systems. They relied on the surveying tools and techniques of the day, which required incredible precision over miles of underground tunneling. McIntyre was not planning a quick expedition. He committed to the long haul. The tunneling operation continued for an astonishing 36 years, from 1900 to 1936. The time frame is staggering to consider. When they started, William McKinley was president and the Wright brothers hadn't yet achieved powered flight. By the time they finished, Franklin D. Roosevelt was in his 2nd term, and commercial air travel was becoming common. W.P. McIntyre himself didn't live to see the project's completion. He died in 1930, after dedicating 3 decades of his life to this venture. His brother and the company continued the work for another 6 years. The engineering achievement was remarkable. When the 2 tunnels finally met, they were misaligned by less than 1 inch. That level of precision would be impressive even with modern technology. With the tools available in the early 20th century, It was nothing short of extraordinary. But the economic outcome was devastating. The theorized central ore deposit, the mother lode that McIntyre had staked everything on, simply wasn't there. After 36 years of continuous work, millions of dollars invested, and countless hours of human labor, they found nothing. The mountain had kept its gold a secret, or perhaps there was never a central deposit to begin with. With the failure of the McIntyre Tunnel project, Baldy's reason for existence essentially vanished. The town that had once been a bustling hub of activity began its final decline. By 1941, systematic demolition of the town's structures had begun. The land was eventually acquired by the Philmont Boy Scout Ranch, which still owns it today. Visitors to the site now will find substantial remnants of Baldy's mining past: a slag heap from the smelter, partial stone buildings with intact chimneys, foundations of mill operations, and multiple mine tailings marking shaft locations. These physical remnants serve as a tangible connection to New Mexico's territorial mining era, a period that played a crucial role in the region's settlement and economic development. Baldy Gold Mining Town represents a perfect example of the boom-bust cycle that characterized Western mineral development. A chance discovery led to rapid growth and prosperity, followed by decline and eventual abandonment when the resources were depleted, or, as in this case, the hoped-for mother lode proved elusive. Join my Patreon community and discover my art print products on my website in the links provided in my description and link above. Also, if you would like a particular image from my videos, give the timestamp for image, and I will upload it to my website and Patreon. Thank you for joining your desert frontiersman Alan for another Southwest Gold story. Check out my large catalog of Southwest videos and playlists on historical tales, legends, lost gold stories, and adult bedtime stories. If you like a certain image from my videos, tell me in comments and give timestamp. Happy trails. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more great content. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.